Running your own business is awesome. It's the dream, as they say. But it's very stressful as well. Customers, they'll see the front end, the products, the signs, the slogans, the happy owner. But it's the back end of the business that really drives the ship. The inventory management, the sales conversions, order processing and shipping. The business behind the business is the key to business. And for millions of businesses around the world, that business behind the business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're home of the #1 checkout on the planet, which is why so many businesses work with them. And Shopify brings the heat with their secret weapon, Shop Pay, which boosts sales conversions by up to 50%. And that means way fewer carts are being abandoned to checkout and way more sales are going. If you want to grow your business, you better be ready to sell anywhere and everywhere your customers are. Scrolling social media, on your website, in your store, and everywhere in between. It's no secret. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz and Mattel use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/RTG, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/RTG to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/RTG. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Black. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week, it is episode 332, and it's one of our prestigious Patreon poll-winning episodes. Every month, I give our Patreons a chance to vote for a game that we cover on the show. We did a sports game poll a couple of months ago, and as I'm sure you gumshoes have deduced by now, Hot Shots Golf came out atop the leaderboard. I know in some territories, it's everybody's golf. It's kind of what it is now. It just sounds weird to me. Like, Famicom sounds odd. Mega Drive sounds weird. Toronto Maple Leafs second round sounds just odd, is weird and fucky. I don't care for. I mean, everybody's golf is fine. It's Hot Shots Golf to me, damn it. And I'm glad Hot Shots won, because I'm going to tell you something, friends. Listen. After 332 episodes of this show, it's not often that I get a big mouthful of nostalgia from a game I'm covering. Most of my childhood has been recapped. A lot of the episodes these days are me playing a game for the first time or really going a deep dive into it. There's not a lot of like, oh, I remember playing this when I was a kid and how much I loved it and I forgot, you know? But I bought Hot Shots Golf for my PSOne back in high school. And aside from the NES, this was my first golf game. And I completely fell in love with it. I played Hot Shots 1, Hot Shots 2, Hot Shots 3, and my love of golf games that still remains strong today came from Hot Shots Golf. And I replayed this for the first time in over 25 years to get ready for this episode. I see some warts for sure, but I don't fucking care. I have some warts and I'm still beautiful. Hot Shots Golf will always be royalty here at Remember the Game. Like, when they call up and they're like, hey, I know it says you have no reservations left. Can I get a table? I'm like, you're Hot Shots Golf. Come on in. Got the best table in the fucking house. I love this game. I love this series. I forgot how much it meant to me, and I promise it will not take another 332 episodes to cover more Hot Shots. Can you imagine? Like, will we be around at episode 664? I wonder. I never thought we'd make it to episode 50, but 664. That seems holy fuck. Anyways, my guest this week to talk Hot Shots Golf is my boy Mike the Ref. I will apologize. His audio got a little bit choppy. Just the way the internet be. But at this point, you're not listening to Remember the Game for the audio quality. You're here. You don't eat KFC for the quality chicken. You eat KFC for the secret herbs and spices. And that's what you're listening to Remember the Game for, right? We both had a good time replaying Hot Shots Golf. And while I found it a little bit tough not to compare it to modern golf games, we did our absolute best to not so much compare it, but to talk about how far the genre of golf video games as a whole has come since the 90s. Hot Shots is fucking awesome, albeit a little rough around the edges. I'm looking forward to talking about it, and we'll get there in just a minute, because speaking of being just a little bit rough around the edges, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Listen, consider this your warning. Our intros are kind of long. They're like half an hour. They're fun. We talk video games and stuff, and they're much easier to get through than some of Hot Shots Golf's matchups that toward the end of the game are. And I'll let you know if you're like, man, I wish you just had timestamps so I could tell where I'm going. I don't offer timestamps on the main free feed because our ad lengths are different lengths, and so the timestamps get wonky, and I never know. But for $3 a month over on the old Patreon box, not only do you get hundreds upon hundreds of extra podcasts, but you get Remember the Game ad-free with timestamps, including the entire 331 episode backlog prior to today. Hell yeah. But if you want to skip the intro, go to about the 30-minute mark and you'll be into some game chat, okay? Let me get my plugs out of the way. How I keep my bills on. All of our merchandise was designed by my man Joe from 454 Creative, the most creative man from 4545 I've ever met. You can find all of our merchandise at rememberthegamepodcast.com if you are interested. Great way to support us. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the lifeblood of RTG is our Patreon. We publish up to 4 extra shows every week. None of our shows over there have any ads. You can listen to them for as little as $3 a month. You can also write into the show. You can vote on the games we cover. You can join our 1,000+ member Discord, and you get instant access to the entire archive bonus episode library as well. And most importantly, you get to hear a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm certainly going to do to one, maybe two of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Dan Baglol. Sorry, Dan. Count Deku, I nailed. And then T23PPA23. I'm sure the numbers are supposed to be letters. Steppa? Oh, shit. Steppa 23. Ah, look at me. Fuck it. People say I'm an out-of-touch old man. Fuck you. Steppa 23. Thank you all so much for the support. Welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/rememberthegame. And don't forget, if you sign up for a year, you get your 12th month for free. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our patrons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is TomTom1313, who is going to be dropping I have been tagged in this story. This might be a record for the number of times I have been tagged in a gaming news story. Tom said, I was reading the gaming news and saw there's a new Echo the Dolphin being made, and I immediately thought of you, Mr. Blank. I'm wondering what it would take to get you to ever revisit this classic series. Apparently, they're remastering the originals as well and polishing those old turds. So many of you have reached out to me about this Echo the Dolphin news. I did quickly address it in Game Patch yesterday and just said no. All jokes aside, I don't know. We'll see. Like, do I want to play a new Echo the Dolphin? Not in particular. Do I kind of have to play it for the sake of the show? Probably. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not convinced this game ever sees the light of day. But if it does, maybe I'll play it. I did see it. I'm not excited. Fuck, I hate that dolphin. I was hating that dolphin before the Angry Video Game Nerd made it cool, by the way. Nerf Herda said, do you think the new release date for Grand Theft Auto 6 will help other developers release games on hold for fear of going up against it? Yes. For those of you, I'm sure most of you have seen it by now, GTA 6 has an official release date of May of next year. A lot of people thought it was coming this fall, mostly because they were saying it was coming this fall, but then they bumped it back to next spring. I think with Summer Game Fest being less than a month away, you are going to see a fucking avalanche of fall release dates in the next 6 to 8 weeks. You're going to get release dates out the ass, because now everybody that was like, we want to release in the fall, but we got to stay out of the Juggernaut's way, or like, the Juggernaut's gone. It's going to be, I said on social media, it's going to be mice coming out now that the cat has left. Grand Theft Auto 6 is the cat, and all the other games are the mice. So yes, I think we're going to just see a fucking bomb of release dates coming this fall now. And I, for one, can't wait. Although, I will say, like, I'm not the biggest GTA fan. Like, we've reviewed Vice City, San Andreas 4 on here. Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming up here on Remember the Game. Like, I don't think they're terrible, but they're just not, like, I don't know. They're not my favorite, personally. Like, they're okay. They're fine. But I did see the new trailer that dropped this morning for Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'd be lying if I said that I'm not more interested than I was 12 hours ago. If you haven't seen it yet, look up the new trailer. It looks pretty fucking good, man. I'm getting excited for that game now. Nick GC said, question about the Patreon collections on here. There are plenty of great comments and ideas that float through the blowing in the cartridge, play one, remake one, erase one, remember the game thoughts, game patch threads, etc. I was wondering where the prep work posts go that house all the comments. Do they just get deleted? Are they stored online anywhere? It's no big deal if they're lost to the vastness, but I enjoy reading the people's contributions, and I was wondering, have a great week. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, whenever we, like every Saturday, I post the what are your thoughts on this game, the blowing in the cartridge submissions, and the play one, remake one, erase one for remember the game. Game patch thoughts go up on Sunday for listeners to comment on. Purple Monkey Dishwasher goes up on usually Monday for people to comment on. To answer your question, Nick, I used to leave them all up, but if you've ever been to Patreon, like it's just one big timeline and it's just a cluttered pile of shit. And I hate, that site drives me crazy. So I do delete them now just to try to keep the site a little bit cleaner. So sorry. Yeah. Once I delete a post, the comments are lost forever, which makes your getting picked to be read on the show just that much more prestigious, making it just a little bit prestigious. So, but a chicken said, with the NHL playoffs reaching round 2 and your beloved Habs falling to the Caps, how do you approach the rest of the season? Do you cheer for your hometown Oilers with all praise to McJesus? Do you jump on board with Canada's team and root for the almighty Maple Leafs? They are not Canada's team. Fuck off. Or is hockey a non-existent sport until October next season? P.S. The Canadians had a hell of a second half, and I was rooting for a Leafs versus Habs East final. Go Leafs, go. Phoenix Wrong said, as a fellow Canadian, I have a question. Picture this as a Stanley Cup game. Winner takes it all. Toronto Maple Leafs and an American team. Do you cheer for Toronto to bring the cup back to Canada, or does your hatred for the Leafs bypass your Canadian pride? So I won't spend too much time on this because I know not everybody's Canadian or hockey fan. I'm a Canadian. It's in my blood. Yes. Shout out to the Montreal Canadiens. I'm so proud of them. Great season. They battled hard. Just is what it is against what, I didn't think they were going to I didn't think they'd be in a sniff for the playoffs this year. So to get into the playoffs was fucking awesome. No, because I get asked this a lot. There are two types of Canadian hockey fans. They are I have a team, and then once they're down, I just want a Canadian team to win. And then there are people like me that are like, no, I like some Canadian teams, but other Canadian teams can pound sand. With all due respect to you Toronto Maple Leafs fans, you are the sand pounders. I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. There is not one team in the NHL that I would cheer for the Leafs if they were playing in the Stanley Cup Finals. Not one. I hate the Ottawa Senators. I hate the Vancouver Canucks. I hate the Boston Bruins. I would cheer for all of them against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So no, I'm not cheering for Toronto Maple Leafs. Never. And so to answer Phoenix's question, I would cheer for any American team or any other Canadian team. To answer Butter Chicken's question, I'm not cheering for the Oilers. I know I get a lot of people that assume I'm an Oilers fan because I'm from Edmonton. I don't hate I actually kind of like the Oilers team. But with all due respect, Oiler fans drive me fucking crazy. And I know Habs fans are obnoxious. Every passionate fan base is obnoxious unless you're part of it. But living here and not being an Oilers fan, when the Oilers were like the worst team in the history of sports, I was still getting chirped all the time, and I can't stand them. So I'm not cheering for the Oilers. I'm not cheering for the Leafs. I am cheering for the Winnipeg Jets, not because they're Canadian, but because as a kid, they were my second favorite team. So go Jets. And if the Jets don't win, then I guess I'm cheering for Carolina because I picked them to win the cup before the season started. But never the Leafs. Fuck that. Count Chonkula said, what it do, Adam? I was just thinking back at games I'd played for the PSOne in its heyday, and a few stood out. I owned both Rayman and Road Rash and played both quite a bit and realized neither have had any new entries come out for the respective IPs in a long time. In my opinion, taking both these series back to the roots would be fucking awesome. A new Rayman that resembled the first game in gameplay with new art, some new mechanics and characters, and take Road Rash back to through crazy mountainous passes while avoiding traffic and beating your opponents to a pulp with a chain. What are your thoughts? Thanks for your time, sir, and keep up the good work. I would love entries in both those series. I don't have the only Rayman game I've really played is Rayman Legends, which I've said many times is one of the best non-Nintendo platformers I've ever played in my life. Highly recommend y'all check out Rayman Legends, especially the music levels. But I do want to go back and play some classic Rayman for the show at some point. And the only Road Rash I played a little bit of Road Rash 64, but my friend Chris had Road Rash for the Panasonic 3DO when I was a lad. And I used to play it and I thought it was so fucking cool. So I haven't played a lot of Road Rash. Again, something I need to remedy for the show at some point. But I would love to see new entries in both those series. More than Echo, that's for fucking sure. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Road Rash. Because I really think an online, like Battle Royale or like an F-Zero, where like you need to finish in the top like 50, then the top 30, then the top 10. I think something like that online with Road Rash could be a fucking blast. Miklos Blackshaw said, my Switch bricked while I was working out of town. Should I get it fixed, buy a new one, or just wait for the Switch 2? I'm sorry to hear that, Miklos. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope you're doing okay. I would recommend, assuming that money is not an issue, I would wait, just get a Switch 2. Because it's backwards compatible with like 99% of games. I would probably just wait for a Switch 2. But if you want to save some cash, I would think you're going to be able to pick up a Switch on the cheap within 6 weeks or probably less. Like within a couple of weeks after the Switch 2 launch, anyone that buys a Switch 2, I'm sure a lot of people, it's something I'm planning to do, will probably be looking to offload their Switch. So if you want to save some dough, then I would wait for the Switch 2 launch and then pick up a used Switch 2 on the cheap. If your money is no issue, I would just upgrade to the Switch 2 because then you're going to get all the new stuff plus all the old stuff. And sorry for your loss. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my Switch yet. I was going to give it to one of my nieces or nephews, but all of the ones that want one have one. So I might just sell it to help finance my Switch 2 purchase because as the haters have hated, the Switch 2, she ain't cheap. She ain't cheap. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. It's letter time. Ryan Kinchin said, I just finished The Ultimate History of Video Games Volume 1. Great read if you haven't checked it out yet. And the author spoke about how Nintendo has been artificially creating scarcity for their products going all the way back to the NES. I always thought it was kind of a far-fetched idea with the amiibos, console peripherals, and even consoles in general, but I guess Nintendo has always been kind of slimy that way. Oh, buddy, I have not read that book, but I'm going to have to. Nintendo is like, if there was an E and an A in Nintendo, then the saying I would have coined wouldn't have been you can't spell EA or greasy without EA. It would be you can't spell greasy without Nintendo. But you can very easily. I love Nintendo and I'm a fanboy, but I've said it countless times. If they didn't have the IPs that they do, that company would be fucking dead in the water. People don't buy Nintendo products because they love Nintendo, the company, and all the things they do. Like their fucking weird fucking gimmicked consoles and their forgotten IPs and their never discounted or never on sale games and their consistent repackaging and reselling of games and they're shutting down high school Smash Brothers tournaments and they're suing everybody under their sun and every other weird fucking obtuse thing Nintendo does. People don't buy Nintendo because they love the company. People buy Nintendo for Mario and for Zelda and for Pokemon and for Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and Smash Brothers. And, well, you know the roster. I've always thought that like they're a very, very consumer unfriendly. Like Xbox is in a distant third in the gaming universe right now. Like PlayStation and Nintendo, I would say PlayStation is probably on top. But PlayStation and Nintendo are both doing very, very well right now. And I think they found a great way to just kind of stay in two separate lanes and stay out of each other's kitchen. And it's worked really well for both of them. Xbox is just kind of throwing everything they've got at the wall and seeing what sticks. But I will say of the big three, in my opinion, at least in a public facing stance, Xbox comes across as the most gamer friendly company of the bunch, in my opinion. PlayStation, they seem like the rich, out of touch old people that just don't care about us, but know that we're going to keep buying their stuff. And Nintendo is just like, I feel like Nintendo is like, yeah, you'll fucking buy our shit and then you'll fucking thank us for the opportunity. And it's not like, dude, even going back as far as the NES, they used to like, you had to buy those gray cartridges from Nintendo. Then make your game, then sell it on Nintendo system. Like, Nintendo has been fucky. Like, the NES Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic, the Amiibos, everything they short everything. Look at Mario 3D All-Stars. Can anybody listening to this write in with a reasonable excuse for why you were like, hey, here's 3 old Mario games that we know you want. We put them all on one cartridge. We're going to sell them to you for 6 months and then go fuck yourselves. Super Mario Brothers 35. People loved that game and they were like, hey, you guys enjoying this? And everyone's like, yeah, this is awesome. And then Nintendo just fucking pulled the blanket out from underneath all of us and was like, well, then go fuck yourselves. They are the most consumer unfriendly company. That it's so funny because to the out world, like to the outliers, they come across as like, we have Mario, come to our parks, come to our stores, fa la 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 la. When in reality, away from the cameras, they're Mickey Mouse from South Park. Like they're just fucking vicious. So no, that doesn't surprise me at all. Nintendo, they hate us. They hate us. But you know what? I bend over every fucking time they ask me to because I'm a pathetic fanboy. Anyways, thank you for all the submissions, everybody, as always. I'm going to get to a ton more comments on the Rambling Idiot this Friday. I got a whole bunch of leftovers over there to tackle, but we got to keep the ball rolling. So let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play 1, Remake 1, Erase 1. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week, I give our patrons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is just erased from time forever. As always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. And this week, since we're talking Hot Shots Golf, I went with 3 retro golf games. We have Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, Kirby's Dream Course, and the NES Open. And 30% said they play Kirby's. my notes say Kirby's Cream Course. That could be a whole different game. 30. Kirby's a slut. 30% said play Kirby's Dream Course, remake NES Open, and erase Fighting Golf. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I will, in fact, tell you what the right answer was. Torby Flenderson said it's still one of my favorite handles around here. Said it's nice to play one of these where it doesn't hurt because I don't care about any of these games. Play NES Open because Mario sports are usually fine. Remake Fighting Golf into a next-gen release of Lee Carvalho's Putting Challenge. Erase Kirby because there are too many Kirby games as it is. That's not what I would do, but if I was going to do the order, that's exactly how I would have described it. To the letter. And that's why I picked Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, was Lee Carvalho's Putting Challenge. So, the Hangout Hut said, play Fighting Golf. I've played Jack Nicklaus Golf also on the NES and is in the physical collection, so Fighting Golf would make for a good two of a kind in my NES deck. You know, I have to say, I think I mentioned it on this show, Jack Nicklaus Golf was the first golf game I played. It's the only one I played before Hot Shots. That game was so bad, because remember every hole, like every shot, you had to wait for it to load, and it looked like an old computer with this, like, it would just like load up like one line at a time. That was good times. Anyway, remake Kirby's Dream Course. Superstar on the NES put this game on the shelf and could really use a second chance. And a remake could make for an excellent party game on the Switch too. Or what if it became a featured mode on Top Golf like they did with Angry Birds and Sonic? And then erase NES Open. Primitive version of Mario Golf on the 64 and forward. And I don't think it would have affected the Mario Golf series. Definitely isn't a game changing enough to keep it in existence. I'm shocked we never got a Super Nintendo Mario Golf game, frankly. The Angry New Yorker said, play Kirby's Dream Course because it's perfectly fun as it... I'm trying to do the accent. I suck. Play Kirby's Dream Course because it's perfectly fun as it is. Remake NES Open because I've never played it before. And erase Fighting Golf because if I wanted the two together, I could just watch Happy Gilmore. That's fair. Buddy, is anyone else, like, excited but also... I asked, does anyone have expectations over like a 2 out of 10 for Happy Gilmore 2? Like, I so desperately want that movie to be good. Of course I'm going to watch it. We're all going to watch it. We're all part of the problem. But the fuck that movie's it's going to suck. Like, I pray I'm wrong. It's going to be so bad. McGriddle Lover. I hate your name because I hate McGriddles because I got food poisoning from the once and ended up in the hospital. I was very sick. McGriddle Lover said, I'm going to play Fighting Golf as it is because I've never played it. I'm going to erase Kirby because that game pisses me off like no other and it makes me hate Kirby and his stupid fucking pink face. And I'm going to remake NES Open because I've sunk countless hours into it and I just like it. Anytime somebody says they're going to do something with a game and be like, because I just like it. Sound as logic gets. I love it. And Zach McLean said, I'm going to play Fighting Golf because this is one of a handful of games I remember playing with my dad when I was really young. Good memories. Might have to see if I can pick this game up for cheap and revisit it. I'm going to remake NES Open. I don't know anything about this game, but Nintendo can make fun golf games with Mario, so I'm sure a remake of this would be a good time. I'll erase Kirby's Dream Course because it easily looks like the worst of the 3. See, I disagree. It's like mini golf. I fucking love mini golf. And I'm turning around on Kirby. So the right answer, I'm going with 11% of you. 11% of you got it right this week. As did Sam Pedego, who said, play Kirby's Dream Course because it's Nintendo and I love Kirby. Remake Fighting Golf because it's not a fighting game, but it would be awesome to have Lee Trevino beating up powered up Tiger Woods wearing armor made out of golf balls with a flaming golf club during the PGA Tour. And erase NES Open because there are much better golf games out there. Completely different logic, but the same order. I'm going to play Kirby's Dream Course because I do love mini golf. I love the Super Nintendo. And I got to say, where did we cover Kirby? Last week on Kirby 64. I've realized, like, I'm a closet Kirby fan. I'm turning around on Kirby. I like Kirby. So I'm going to play Kirby's Dream Course. And then as far as the remake, I'm going to remake Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf. I'm going to make it into the Tiger Woods game from South Park. Those of you that know. And then I'm going to race NES Open. I'm sure it's fine, but like we have Mario Golf, we have Hot Shots Golf. We don't need it. Like it's fine, but we don't need it. So there you go. 11% of you. Thank you everybody that wrote in. As always, what have I been playing over the last 7 days? And then we're going into Hot Shots Golf. I played a lot of Okami, which won our pre-March Madness Patreon poll tournament extravaganza back in February. So an episode on that is coming up. It took a long time for that game to hook me. I tried it twice on my Steam Deck and couldn't get into it. Finally decided to try it on my PS5, and I don't know if it was just I was more focused because it was on my TV instead of a handheld or something or what, but it's finally got me. I still don't know if I quite see the brilliance that some people toss on Okami, but I love the art style. The gameplay is good. I'm getting there. It'll get a good, not great review when it comes, which is hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's a long fucking game, but I'm working on it. I'm also playing Expedition 33, which I gotta say, I'm not the world's biggest RPG fan. I was kind of like, I'll get around to that one when I get around to it. And then it got praised by so many people that I got that FOMO, and I was like, I guess I'm going to have to fire this up and see what it's all about. And the more I play Expedition 33, the more I like it. I am very impressed. They deserve all the praise that they're getting. I'm definitely going to play through it and do a review. And yeah, I would say probably my front runner for game of the year right now. That said, I'm only 7 or 8 hours in. Like, we'll see how it ends. But right now, probably my front runner for game of the year. So those are the two big ones I'm playing. And then I've been playing Hot Shots Golf. And I'm still slowly chipping away at a replay of Hollow Knight, because I want to get that done before Silk Song drops. So there you go. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pause here. I'm going to let a sponsor in to do their thing. And unless you're a Patreon, then you're good. We're skipping it because that's what we do now. And when we get back, it is all about Hot Shots Golf. Okay. I need a sip of coffee. So I'm going to do that. We'll be right back after that. Whatever. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell, because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. At least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. All right, let's get into Hot Shots Golf. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I ramble. And we had a lot of comments just praising it. Like, this is no pun intended, but like, this really is everybody's golf. Like, I knew I loved it. I forgot I loved it. I remembered I loved it. I didn't realize all of you loved it too. Hot Shots Golf is the shit, man. John C500 said, this is a great title. It's one of those feel-good pickups and plays. I had the PSP version too, and it was just as good, but the PS1 version is a real slice of childhood. I hear those bird calls in my sleep. I want to play the PS. I've never played PSP. I got to get a PSP. I got to see what this is all about. Dan Harrington said, I was a big fan of this franchise. Open tee on the PSP, especially, see again, since it helped kill a lot of time between classes in college as it made golf seem more accessible and fun to me than any other franchise before it. I agree with that. This was like the first, like, again, we mentioned Jack Nicklaus Golf on the NES and stuff. This was the first one that I bought because I was like, it seems not boring. And it wasn't. It's fun. Alucard Slays Mario says, I've never played through the full game, but my brother and I playing this on the free demo disc that came with our PS1. Under normal circumstances, we couldn't be in the same room for 15 minutes without throwing punches. As an adult, that threshold is almost doubled. But for some reason, we could play Hot Shots Golf for hours, which in retrospect is strange, as I still can't stand to golf. Dude, the real life game can die in a fire. But video games and watching it, mwah. Timmy the Exuberant Turtle said, I played a few golf games during the 8 and 16-bit generations, but this was really the first golf title that I had a lot of fun with. Accessible and fun with a charming art style. This game is really deserving of its fandom. Well said. Well said. Agreed. Second, the jury will be chosen by me. Agreed. No, wait. Shout out to Only Gets That reference. And Dr. Wario said, of course, doctors like golf games. My all-time favorite golf game. I still had my original copy and pull out the PS1 to play it every couple of months. I've been waiting on this episode since I started listening. Guarantee this episode will be a hole-in-one. I would say this episode will be a bogey at best, but I appreciate the sentiment, Dr. Wario. Let's do it. I'm going to cue up some Hot Shots Golf music. And when it stops, Mike the Ref and I are talking Hot Shots Golf, which originally released in North America on the PS1 on May 5th of 1998. It's 27 years old, 2 days ago. Look at that. Wow. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Let's go. Let's golf. Let's golf. Let's go golf. Whatever. All right, despite my brutally incompetent scheduling abilities, which I'm fucking, oh my, you guys have no idea the shit show that is Remember the Game behind the scenes. It is an abomination. But joining me this week via the blank phone to talk Hot Shots Golf is my boy Mike the Ref. A little fits because you're the sports guy, doesn't fit because golf doesn't have refs. They got the officials, and officials are fucking snobby losers. But Mike, how are you? How are you?
Well, I think it's sort of appropriate because, you know, referees in the off season, they're usually golfing. And I was just in the back. I don't know what you talk about scheduling being such an issue. I was just in the just looking for golf balls after playing this game a few times.
Yeah, fuck me, buddy. For those of you that don't know, I just called Mike and was like, fuck, dude, I got to move this. And he's like, oh, well, I can get it in now. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Then I'm calling Mark McHugh and moving Purple Bucky dishwasher. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. My life is a round of golf. From the outside, you're like, that looks very relaxing and fun. But when you get down into the dirt, it is like, this is a fucking abomination. Now, that said, I detest more real life golf, but I love golf. Are you a golfer, Mike? You play golf?
I do dabble in the golf. And
okay.
In terms of, am I good at it? I don't think anybody can really say they are these days.
No.
But
anyone that's good at golf is getting paid to golf. Because there's so few of them that are good.
But I will say, I do have fun playing golf, and I had fun playing this golf game.
I love this game. I'll tell you, buddy. So, I've always said I love golf games, and I know we haven't covered. I think the only golf game we've covered on the show so far is the Tiger Woods series. But if y'all would just indulge me for 1 second. I love when I get messages from listeners that are like, man, I listened to your show about whatever game, and then I went back and played it, and like, oh man, so much nostalgia, and it reminded me how fun it was and stuff like that. I have to say, you all did that for me this week with this game, because this won our sports game Patreon poll, and I started playing this on my PS5, and I have not played this game since high school. And sitting down and replaying this, Mike, I no joke, this is the game that blossomed into my love of golf video games. This is the one. Because before this, the only one I'd played was like the Jack Nicklaus or Jack Nicholson. I always get the two of them mixed up. The
Jack Nicklaus.
18, yeah, the 18 holes on the NES, which fucking sucked. But this, other than that, this was the first one I played. And like, I know that it's a little rough around the edges and it's hard by today's standards, but like, I love this game, Mike. It is so good. Did you play it back in the PS1 era?
Well, I will tell you my experience before this game was actually developed Putting Challenge, but other than that, like I used to play this as a kid. I actually got this as a gift from my parents. Funny story about it though, there was another game I actually wanted to get, and it's called Outlaw Golf. It's sort of an offshoot of this.
Yeah,
it's a little bit newer. However, the difference between this Outlaw Golf is everything that would get you canceled in 2025 was included in that game. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So every stereotype, everything like that. So when I told my parents I wanted to get the game, they went to go get it. They saw what it entailed, and they decided that this game was the one that I should get. And nice. I honestly feel it was the right choice. Because I have had a ton of fun. Like the week going into this, I've been talking to people because, schedules and whatnot. When I'm on my streams, I'm telling people, hey, I'm going to be talking about Hot Shots Golf. The amount of comments I received over this, about how many people love playing this game when it came out. Oh, buddy, this is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. I knew it had a fan base because there's like 8 of them now, and they're making the new one right away and stuff like that. But same thing. I was shocked at just how vocal the community was about their love of Hot Shots Golf. And it was the same thing. I bought this one on a whim because, again, I hadn't played a golf game in forever, and I bought a lot of sports games on the PS1. I was like, that was where I became a Tampa Bay Rays fan, because I bought a baseball game and the Devil Rays were the worst team in the game, so I started playing as them, and it just stuck. Like, I bought a lot of sports games on my PS1 because that was one of the, I really think when you go from the 64 to the PS1, sports games were one of the genres where it was just like, clearly the PS1 has a big advantage. Like, no offense to anyone out there that loves the Nintendo 64, the PS1 like kicked its ass when it came to sports games, in my opinion anyway. Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey is a fucking abomination, and it'll never get an episode on this show. For those of you that have been asking, no, never. 0 out of 10. I hate that fucking game. I hate it. I detest that game. I hate it so much.
We'll work on it for chat. Don't worry. We'll
I fucking hate that game. It's never happening. So bad. But like, I just bought this game on a whim and started playing it and fell in love with it. And like, I've played Hot Shots Golf 2. I've played Hot Shots Golf 3. I do find it incredibly distracting that it's everybody's golf in some regions, because it's always going to be Hot Shots to me. If you were to come to me before I started this podcast and be like, have you ever played everybody's golf? I'd be like, no, what is that? I had like no fucking clue that it was the same series.
The only thing I could come up with is the fact that the developer or PlayStation didn't think it was going to be fancy enough to put everybody's golf in there. But
maybe not. I also find that name funny because, I don't know, maybe almost 30 years ago when this game came out, it was accessible to everybody. But now, if Shaylee, who very rarely plays video games, came to me and was like, I'd like to play a golf game, I'd be like, let's get you Mario Golf on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not giving her this. She'll fucking, within 3 holes, she'd be like, what in the fuck is this? Like, I maybe it's because I'm old now, but I don't remember this game being as difficult in high school as it fucking was sitting down to play it now. Holy Jesus, Mike.
The scary thing about this game is the developer of Hot Shots 1 is the same developer for Mario Golf.
Yeah, Camelot.
Literally, Camelot. Like,
it's crazy. I know.
Honestly, I find this game, if I had to sum it up, if you really dumb it down and just play it without trying to overanalyze things, it is an absolutely amazing game to play. The more you think while you're out there, the more you get yourself caught in the rough, the sand, the water, the swearing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, when it comes to a game like this, like when you're playing these newer games, like we're doing 25 here with similar button schemes, not, it makes you almost want to overanalyze as you're trying to set up your shot, like you're trying to account for the wind and the
Yeah.
direction. And you really look at it, unless it's literally raining at you, you don't have to do much.
Yeah. That was a huge, huge adjustment for me because I'm sure not everybody that's listening to this episode has played a golf game, but I bet most of you have. If by some fluke you haven't, in addition to deciding your club and how far you need to hit the ball and how strong you hit it and stuff like that, there's a lot of like in most golf games, the wind is a factor, the height relative to you. Like if the pin is fucking 10 yards higher than you are at ground level, then you need to adjust to that when you hit the ball or like and so on and so forth. And I'm used to that. And I play EA Sports PGA Tour very religiously. And that game is quite possibly the most difficult golf game I've ever played. And it's incredibly simulation based and really deep. And so like a 3-mile-an-hour wind can fuck you around in that game. And so I'm playing Hot Shots Golf. And I agree with you, dude. It took me forever to accept the fact that like if the wind is less than say 10, it's such a minor factor because I'm over, like the wind is blowing left to right. So I'm compensating and aiming my ball way to the left, banking on the wind at like 6 miles an hour to pull it back. Then I'm hitting a perfect shot and that ball is not moving. And I'm like, I guess a 6-mile-an-hour wind back in Hot Shots Golf era meant nothing. And same as when you were putting in this game. Like it took me so long to get a feel for the putts because I kept missing them because I will overcompensate for a tiny little angle in the hill. And I don't know if that's by design or if that's just the limitations of tech back in 1997. Because like you don't like, I know this is a dumbed down fucking stupid analogy, but those are what I do. Like when you play EA Sports PGA Tour, there's like, they have like 3,000 different settings. And so a 1 degree difference in how I hit my ball or a 1-mile-an-hour difference in the wind can have a drastic effect on where my ball ends up. In this one, it's like it's like it's pixelated and it's like there's about 20. And so you go from one block to the next block to the next block, and there's not nearly as much wiggle room. There's also not nearly as much throwing your ball off. And it took me so long to go back in time and get a feel for how, like you said, a lot of the shots, if you can hit them, like the key is just hitting a straight shot. And if you can hit a straight shot, you're going to be fine in this game. But
yeah, and
it took me forever.
I found a key of putting literally if you just take it one little click to the left, to the right, that's all you needed, regardless of what the angle was of your slope or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I know I threw I was actually testing this out last night, and I ended up in one of those match plays, which we'll probably get to here eventually. But
oh yeah,
for me to tie my game, I had to do like an 80-foot putt to just have the hole so I could go on to the next playoff. I didn't adjust anything. It's sloping all over the place. I didn't adjust it. Just crank it and go from a $5 cab right away. And you're like, all right, well, I guess I really didn't need to worry about any adjustments here and just hit it.
Yeah.
And it just pulls your hair out when you think about it. But then you're like, this game is meant for everybody. Like everybody's golf is a great name for it because, well, frankly, it's meant for everybody. The skill all through the roof, but the level of actual thinking while you're doing it was really not that difficult.
No, it wasn't. That was such a, it was, I think all it was like trying to deprogram my brain from 25 years of Tiger Woods and PGA 2K and EA Sports, like these, because golf games, like there's still a place, and I frankly still love arcade golf games like these, Mario Golf, stuff like that. But I like the really deep simulation analog stick. If you fucking push your analog stick a 16th of an inch to the left, your shot is fucked. I love those types of golf games. And it took me a long time to deprogram my brain into like, keep it simple, stupid. Just hit it and it's fine. You're right. I drained some putts that I would have had no shot in any other game because they were just straight. You just had to hit it straight. And the power was pretty easy to do. And even that, like, I don't know what golf games you're playing these days, but like an EA PGA Tour, say I've got a 20-foot putt and the ball or the hole is 2 inches up from where I am. Then instead of putting 20 feet, I'm going to hit 22 feet power. Basic rule of thumb is hit an extra foot of power for every inch the ball needs to go up. And then you'll be at like ballpark. And
personally, for me, I do 2K23 or 2K20 5, sorry. And it's the same thing. Like you have to correct a little bit for the depth and height. I found you really didn't have to in this game at all.
No, dude, it was fucking, I had like a straight ahead putt. It was like 25 feet straight ahead. Like I don't have to change anything, 25 feet, but it said that it was up 2 inches. And so I hit up, like I tried to go just, a little bit. I tried to give it a little bit extra to get it up, blew over the whole fucking way past. And I was like, oh, I guess 2 inches don't mean fuck all in 1997. Fucking, I can tell you that 5 inches doesn't mean anything in 2025, but it doesn't mean a goddamn thing. And once I unprogrammed myself and just like leaned back into it, I fell so in love with this game again. And I know it's not the deepest. I know there's not a ton of like, I don't care. It really is everybody's. Like, it's so much fun. It really just, oh fuck. I had such a blast playing this fucking game, man. Oh my God.
The biggest thing about this game that I really enjoy, and the thing I'd like to do a lot more of, it is that couch co-op. That's what this game is meant for. If you're trying to get ultra serious into golf, I'm sure there's other games you could get into that. But if you want to just relax and just go out and whack some balls, this is the one to do. And
agreed.
There are a lot of modes. It does get a little tedious at times as you're trying to unlock things. But if you're sitting there with a buddy and you're just going out to hit, there's not a whole lot of thinking you have to do while you're doing it. Just sit there and hopefully you can get the right shot. If you hit the P button for the power, you pray that you got actually perfect accuracy or you're going somewhere 45 degrees one way or the other. You want to talk about risk reward. That damn power button.
Yeah. Agreed. I want to backtrack to what you were talking about with the couch co-op thing. Cause I agree with you. Like it is tedious. Cause like when you start playing this game, you have 2 golfers and 1 course. And then to unlock more courses, go play the tournaments, rack up experience points, unlock more courses. To unlock the golfers, you have to play them head to head. We'll talk about all that and unlock them. It can be tedious, especially when you're trying to unlock a golfer and you play 18 holes and lose by 1 stroke. And it's like, you don't get this golfer. Fuck you. Start over again. But at the same time, I had to remind myself that it was 1997. There was no playing it online. So unless you had a friend coming over to play it with you, this was really this was giving you a reason to keep coming back. Cause I agree. It did feel just a touch tedious. I've always been a fan of when you play, you earn currency in the game and then you use the currency to buy more, courses or players or whatever the fuck, as opposed to having to beat them. That said, though, it is, boy, it's a sense of accomplishment. And when you beat someone, you get them and you add them to your roster, which is great. But I think the tediousness was a way to extend artificially extend the life. So somebody wouldn't rent this, unlock everything in 2 days and be like, well, I'm never fucking playing that shit again. So, I do agree.
I think it's one of those games that you pick up and they want you to play it for a very long time. They don't want you just to skip out because back then you're only getting 1 game every 6 months, right? And to get in 100%. And to get into this, I will say this. I guess we'll go into match types later here, but I do think that the AI is a little bit cranky at me for a couple different reasons, but I guess we'll get into that in a bit here. But yeah, the majority of this time, the multiplayer experience is probably what you're looking at more than anything else. Or if you just want to grind away and just relax, the goal of unloading up every single course, every single player, it's going to take you a ton of time to do it all. So
yeah. It's funny because most of my memories of playing it back in high school are playing it with my friends. We would get heated playing these games with each other. We did Mario Golf too, which I also love. But these are the ones that I remember playing with my friends the most. Because a couple of my friends were the Nintendo is for children. We're not playing that. We're playing. And I was like, because Hot Shots Golf is so mature. Yeah, let's go do that instead. So listen, everybody, we're gonna break here. We're gonna get the ad out of the way if we've got one. And then when we get back, we'll take a deep dive into Hot Shots and go through all the modes and the golfers and etc. So, and that damn power shot. So bear with me. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay. We might as well talk about the gameplay first, because you mentioned that power shot. And yeah, when you play this game, you get a dozen or something that you can, on any shot.
12.
On any shot, you can hit the square button and you'll go from your regular drive or your regular shot to a power shot, which is a little bit harder to be accurate, but it'll obviously do more distance. And I found I found getting my power to max out harder than getting the accuracy right. But I don't know if it's like, I don't know if the game is programmed to make getting your accuracy drop harder when you use the power shot or not, or if it's the pressure of knowing if I fuck this up, I don't know where this is going to end up. But dude, when I could hit like 4 out of 5 drives, I'm nailing the accuracy. I'm getting the perfect stop right in the middle. And then I switch it to power, and it's like, you might as well close your eyes and fucking guess. I don't know why. I don't know if I just choked under the pressure or not. And then you're right. That ball is fucking gone.
Well, the way the game works is you have a power bar on the bottom, and if you've played modern golf games, it's what they call the 3-click setup. You click once to start your shot, once to select how high your power is going to be, and the third one you have to get between a certain range in order for you to get your shot off. Now, once you get that for that third click, there's a little red bar underneath that indicates your safe zone of, all right, you're actually going to get a real swing in here if you get it in between these red spots. But there is one yellow one in the middle that is ideally your target spot. Now, when you hit that square button to go into power mode, that red bar shrinks. And if you do not literally hit that little damn pixel in that bar, you might as well go find your shovel, your chainsaw, and maybe a couple hooks, because you're going to go spelunking for your ball somewhere.
Yeah.
It was insane.
And that's where I found the difficulty in this game, like beating the other golfers, because as you unlock golfers, you move on to the next golfer, and they get better. They have better stats than you. They can be harder to play. That's all well and good. But where I found the difficulty spike in Hot Shots Golf really was like you said, that accuracy thing. And the reds, the safe zone for like Mike said, there's a if you can hit it dead center in the middle of your accuracy on the way back, you'll hit the ball will go where you want it to go. And then if you miss it to the left or the right, then you'll start to slice or fade or whatever the fuck. And then there's like a little red bar underneath that. And that red bar, like if you try to hit your 1 wood out of the rough, then like that red bar is literally under the perfect spot, and that's the only place you're going to hit a decent shot. Everywhere else you're going to duff, which makes sense, right? Like it's the harder this place, the different clubs don't work as well and things like that. But where I found like the difficulty spike was if you missed a shot and you went into the rough, like I go into the rough all the time. And in EA Sports PGA Tour and with modern golf games, I consider myself a reasonably good recovery player. Like I can get out of it. I can turn a bad situation around. I found it incredibly difficult to turn a situation around in this game. The only way, 3 out of 4 times, I found the only strategy that would work if I really went off into the woods on my drive or something was to just suck it up and eat a shot and almost just hit it like back onto the fairway. Like trying to make a fucking 150, 200 yard shot, like on a par 4 or whatever the fuck, out of the rough on your first one, especially if there's water anywhere near the green, is borderline impossible. And that was where the spike was for me, was the fucking recovering when something went wrong was vicious.
Personally, when I ended up in a situation like that, my goal is to get +3. Because odds are you're probably going to get +3, if +4, or I don't even know if you get a complete shot score, like a default one here, but man, if you're trying to be a hero, it punishes you to no end in this game.
It really does.
It is a risk reward, which is a good thing, but at the same time, when you risk and fail, you really fail.
Yeah.
To say the least.
But that being said, though, one of my favorite things about golf games is how much I've learned about the strategy of golf, because I'm really a horrible real life golfer. I don't really enjoy it. I go a couple times a year. I hate it. So like most of my golf experience comes from video games or watching it on TV. And one thing that started with this game that has grown with me over the years is like, just to give you an example, let's just say you're on a par 5 and you drive it 250 yards, and then your second shot goes like, I don't know, 150 yards. So I'm just trying to use basic math. So let's just say you got about 100 yards back. You have 100 yards to the green on your third shot on a par 5, but there's water basically right up until the green. And so your two options are either try to get over the water without overshooting the green and stick that landing on your third shot, or just take like a 70-yard chip up to right before the water, and then you can just kind of tap it over the water, stick it on the green. And it becomes like the smart play when you're in the lead, for example, in a tournament or in a matchup, is to just play for par. You know what I mean? Like just get the layup in front of the green, chip it over, make your par putt, get out. When you're behind, you got to start taking the risk and trying to take those longer drives and try to stick it on the green. And this was the first golf game I remember, because like Mario Golf on the 64 is great, but this was the first one where I really started to feel that, like weighing the risk versus reward. Where am I in relation to my opponent or the tournament, the field, whatever the fuck? And I really like that. I do find it frustrating how hard it is to recover when something goes wrong, but I do like that the game is telling you, like, hey, if you want to play it safe, like you can have a pretty easy time putting up a par round in this game if you don't do anything stupid. But if you want to start putting up those great scores, you got to roll the dice a bit, you know. And I love that. I love that risk reward system.
Yeah, it's just like a golden tee game in that sense, where if you just do exactly what you're supposed to do, you should be able to clear through without any issues, as long as you don't create skill issues for yourself.
Yeah.
But if you really want to have a good round, you do have to take those risks, and those risks you got to be absolutely perfect on. And I will blame every missed shot that I have in this game on lag.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care. I don't care if it's a damn offline game. I'm blaming it on lag.
100%. Dude, and that was like, you know where I struggled in this game was with the power. Because like when you first start your backswing, like you hit X, and it's like, I think just about everyone listening to this is at least familiar with that 3-click system. You hit X, the bar starts filling up, and then you're going to hit X again where you want to like make, like how close to the tip of the power meter you want to take your shot. So obviously, especially like when it's your opening drive and like, you know, your tee off and stuff like that, you want max power. So you want to hit X right as that bar fills up. And I'll tell you, dude, like the accuracy I was pretty good with, unless I went to a power shot and then I fell apart for some reason. But trying to get that power meter right up at the top, I really struggled with that. And that can really fuck you, because again, I'm used to games where you might lose 5 yards off your swing if you swing the analog stick just a touch. In this one, it's like you like I don't know, like the little block that moves up that click meter. Like say it's a 1/4 of an inch thick. There is no stopping it between one position and the next position. Like it'll stop close, like the next full bar across, like beside it that it would be. And so if I need to hit 220 yards to get to the green, water's at 200 yards and my one wood drives 220 yards. If I try to drive that over the water and I miss that power bar by one block, I'm fucked.
Yep.
And that really was on like that whole, the number of times I missed shots that way. And that's where I was blaming the lag too. And I was like, fuck you. It's a wireless controller. That's horseshit. I hit it at the top. Go fuck yourself. And then you're just watching that power meter drain back down before you hit your accuracy thing. And I'm like, it doesn't even fucking matter. I know I'm fucked now anyways. God damn. Like, fuck. Fucking God damn it. Fuck. Go ahead.
I will say this though. When it is absolutely insane to try to match it up perfectly. And the one that actually infuriated me more than anything was the putting, when you're trying to go for maximum power on your putt, because it's a bar that goes back up. It only goes up when you're putting. If you stop it before it hits the very top, it just resets. You have to start over again. You're like, damn it, gotta go again. Nope, damn it, gotta go again. But what I will say for regular shots, and it's something that I don't know if I've ever been so fired up over something so simple, but when you hit that perfect shot with the max power and the perfect accuracy, and you get that little whistle, you see the whistle come, or that little musical note that comes up just as you're about to hit it, and you just know you got the perfect shot, that it comes up, nice shot, right on top. You are pumped. Because you know that you just you toppled. That's like beating Seth Roth 3 times in a row kind of thing.
It feels so like if my dad tells me he's proud of me, I'm like, no, you're not. And Shaylee's like, I love you. I'm like, do you? But when that voice in Hot Shots Golf goes, nice shot, I'm like, you know what? That was a nice shot. Thank you very much. I'm gonna fucking watch this now. This is great. So I like how simple it is, but how complicated it is. And then they also throw in the added effect. I don't really use the fade and spin or the fade and draw or whatever all that often, but the top spin and the back, like the
Oh,
back
yeah.
spin, like that. So like for anyone that's played the Tiger Woods games, I love them as much as the next person, but there was a great era in Tiger Woods games where you could put up like 50 underscores because you could abuse the backspin and the topspin and stuff so badly. In this one, once you start that power meter filling up, you've got your 2 clicks in front of you. While you're doing it, you can use the D-pad to tell it like I want to hit the top of the ball, which means you'll shoot a lower shot, but it'll spin forward more, or you want to do the backspin where you'll hit a higher shot, but it'll backspin and slow down, it won't roll as far forward. And where the tricky part was that sometimes you're deciding if you're going to topspin or backspin it in that like half a second after you've done the power. Because if I'm like, I went max power, fuck, I need backspin to slow it down. And then it can really, like, it really does take some focus to be focused on that accuracy bar while also trying to remember to hold down on the deep. You know what I love that. Like, that's where I like my golf games complicated. And like, I think Mario Golf, traditionally it was hit double A would be topspin and double B would be backspin or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I do like it better more when I need to use like an analog or a control pad and like manually do it as I'm trying to do my swing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like that as well. I don't mind the double click just because sometimes it's easier to recognize, but the fact that it scares you when you're slamming on it, and the one thing that was really cute about this game is when you do the backspin and you get on the green, it literally sounds like you're hitting the brakes on a car.
Yeah, I like that too. The smoke's coming up and everything.
That's the cartoony stuff I do like in this game, and I get it that they can't go as cartoony as Camelot as Mario Golf.
Yeah,
but it still has its realistic charm that the PlayStation had, right?
On that note of the animations too, it's a stupid little thing, but I love that when you hit your shot, so the camera follows the ball, and then whenever the ball hits the ground, the camera kind of spins around looking back at where the ball came from, and you'll see your golfer like just fucking burning ass running up. Like they'll be running across water. It doesn't matter, like running up to where their ball is. I don't know why that always makes me laugh, watching the golfer run up.
The thing that made me laugh about it, in fact, they're not running straight at it. They're always running diagonally.
Yeah, they're drunk. They're just all over the map. Yeah, I like that.
They're like me running around on a golf course with a cart.
On the note of the water too, did you hit any shots where you skipped the ball across the water like a stone?
I tried to, but I couldn't.
I never once did it intentionally, but I did do it a couple of times. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing it, and I know that shot's going to the drink, and I'm down there just huffing and puffing, and I'm like, for fuck's sakes. And then the ball, I think it's mostly if you hit the spin where the top spin, like to go forward, but like it hits the water, and instead of just kaboom, it hits the water and like a stone, and it like would bounce across into the rough. And I'll tell you, nothing picks me up. Like I had some nice fucking shots, and I don't know if anything picked me up as much as when I thought a ball was gone and then it skipped across the water and ended up, I don't care if it ends up in the rough, I'll make it work because it still saved me a stroke. It's fucking awesome. It felt really good. This game's fucking vicious though.
Now, Adam, you gotta be honest right now. You never intentionally try to skip it on top of the water until you actually skip it on top of the water. Then it was completely intentional. You did it 4 times.
Oh yeah, if Shaylee had walked downstairs while I was playing it and saw me skip one across the drink and roll it up onto the green, I would have been like, just like I fucking drew it up. Tiger's got that fucking insane hole in one where it skips, and I'm just like, yeah, of course you meant to fucking do that. Why not? Of course you did.
Well, why not do that? That's what we do.
Yeah. So I like that. We should talk about the golfers, the courses. So like the match types in this game. I think I agree with you, Mike, that like the multiplayer is really where the bread in this game is buttered. But the single player too, like at least it's got a few modes. You can do the matchups against the other. So like you start the game with 2 golfers unlocked, and then you can do a matchup play against the 3rd golfer. And then if you beat her, then you can do a matchup against the 4th, and so on and so forth. And their stats get higher and they get a little bit wonkier as you keep moving on through the game. But I really liked that, like, so you can do that and you can do the one-on-one match. And when you do that, it's not stroke play, it's match play. So,
and I love the fact that it's match play because that's a lot quicker too.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. I like it. So for those of you that don't know what we're saying, like a standard like stroke play is just you play 18 holes and then whoever has the better score wins. When you play a match play, it's every time if I put up if I do par on a hole and Mike gets a bogey or a bogey on a hole, I win the hole. And you play until the holes are won. And so like realistically, you can win a match in 10 holes. If you win all 10, it's over because your opponent can't catch you. And so it speeds it up so much. I really like that you can do that. And I gotta say, man, considering how basic the game is, they do a really good job of making each golfer feel different from the other ones.
Absolutely. And it also, the way the game was set up, it almost felt like you were supposed to take the new character to challenge the next one, because the characters that golfer had were going to help you take on the person with the next one. Like, for example, Yuki is basically just a steroided version of Mary, which was the first golfer that you would get. Aku, and then Sam is also, Sam's power is actually generated even higher, so you want to use either Taku or Yuki to take on that, and then you just keep going from there. And I found it insanely, like, the funniest thing I found about the matchups is it was my first setup after the two players going on against Yuki, the third one. I ended up going down 3 after 3 holes because I was going like in real life. And all of a sudden, for the next 6 holes, the CPU could not hit a fairway to save their life. So I don't know what, just adjusting for that or what. I ended up, I think it was my first 3 characters that I won in playoff holes.
Oh, nice.
So it's like it's trying to edge you to get better, but at the same time, it's not going to give you a cakewalk.
Yeah, I found that too. I don't know if the AI adjusts on the fly or if it's just programmed to do what it does. But I did find that too. There were a couple of those matchups where, because I got as far as Susan, like I got 4 or 5 unlocked, always with Yuki. Once I unlocked Yuki, that was my girl. She's my girl, because the golfers either hit it straight or they have a draw or a fade. And I really struggle with the golfers that don't hit the ball straight. I have such a hard time adjusting to the drawing and the fading, which for those of you that don't know golf terms means that their ball either curves to the left or curves to the right. Yuki is the first golfer you can unlock, and she's got a little bit more power than the 2 you start the game with, and she hits the ball by default. She hits the ball in a straight line, and I need that straight line. So I just kept playing with her. But I found every time I started doing poorly and getting behind, they would have a few bad holes and let me catch up. But when we were close, then they would hang around. And I don't know if it was like the AI playing to your level or if it's just the way it happened to line up. But it was, I found every matchup against another golfer tough but fair.
Yeah.
Like it never felt like they were cheating.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. When I hit the fairway in time and they hit an 80-foot putt to have the hole with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry. That's a little bit of cartoon bullshit. Pardon my French.
But to be fair, you and I have both made 80-foot putts in this game as well. Like
I made one.
I agree though. It is horseshit when you're like, you have like a 10-foot putt to make par, and then they're putting like across the fucking green for birdie, and you're like, as long as they get it close, we'll tie the hole and move on, no big deal. And then they drain some fucking miracle Happy Gilmore bullshit, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
You're looking to see what 3 trees it's going to hit off before it goes in the hole.
Yeah. But considering that like each golfer basically only they've got their power stat, which obviously is how far they can hit it, their control, which is your accuracy, and then how much spin you can put on the ball, and then whether or not they hit it straight, they draw or they fade it. Like it's not a huge, it's not like there's like 40 different categories and stats to be moved around in. It really is remarkable how different each golfer feels. And I really like the art style of the golfers in this game. Like they look like they look so stupid, a couple of them, and I fucking love them for it.
And there weren't many animations in this game, but the animations were in there were tons of fun.
Like they're reacting to their scores and stuff.
Yeah, like if they make better than par or make worse than par, they either got their head in their hands or they're jumping for joy, or very simple but very fun. Like, that's the thing you can remind yourself more than anything else. This is a ton of fun to play.
It is, yeah. It's very charming. Like it's very charming to look at. Like I I'll hear the argument that by 2025 standards, the grass, the tree, like the courses themselves, I'd say they look rough, but like they look like a PS1 game. Like this is what PS1 games look like. And I'm telling you right now, if you weren't around during the PS1 era, we were back there being like graphics will never get better than this. This is what we were saying back then because it was incredible. And
this
now
is as it gets.
yeah. And like now it's funny because a lot of people have written into the show talking about the jump from the PS4, Xbox One generation to the PS5 series, everything generation hasn't been as remarkable as like the PS1 to the PS2 to the PS3. Like it really is getting to a point now where you look at some video games and you're like, I don't know how much better graphics can get than this. But this is what we thought back in the PS1. And it's funny, like you watch your ball land on the green in this game, and I don't know, you're like, I have no fucking idea. Like, I don't know where the pin is. I don't know which way it's rolling because it just looks like a white block on a green blob, and I don't know what the fuck it's going to do.
I'm just hoping it lands on the green more than anything else.
Yeah, there is no reading the green. At least not me. I'm not good enough. There's no, like my approach shot. I'm not reading the green and being like, oh, if I put it up here, it'll roll down the hill toward the, like, I'm like, just please get somewhere in this green blob and then I'll figure it out. Like, just somewhere on there, please.
My biggest problem was when you get right around the green, but you're not on the green, so you have to do that approach shot. But it's so close that you really have to have like zero power on your meter to do it.
Yeah,
you just can't click fast enough.
I found that as well. It's crazy how a game designed for everybody will completely fuck you on like a gimme. Like when you're playing golf and you miss a putt by like 3 inches and everyone's like, just go ahead, tap it in. Those can be a hard shot in this fucking game sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, like, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know how many times I had to do an approach just off the green. I couldn't use the putter because the putter wouldn't get me far enough. But all of a sudden you go for that approach shot. Next thing you know, you're in the rough on the other side of the green.
Yeah.
Even further away.
And then it's over. Like, and then things start falling apart and then it's fucking over. So getting back to the mode. So there's the match play, which I really like. And that's how you unlock new golfers and stuff, which is really cool. I also like the tournament mode, and that's you'll play like a full 18-hole tournament, and between each of the holes, you'll see the leaderboard and let you know how you're doing. And the goal is to be at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the 18 holes, and then you'll also unlock points. And then those points, the more points you earn, the more courses you unlock, and the game keeps going like that. And I can't remember how many courses there were. I want to say 5, but I don't remember.
Oh no, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 courses.
And then I really like that tournament mode. Like I because that's my bread and butter. Like I don't play online. I like career modes. I love tournament mode because you're like 12 or 13 holes into the tournament, and say you're sitting at -1 and the leader's at -3. Then you're like, I got to start gambling a little bit and hoping they make a mistake, as opposed to like if you have a 2 or 3 shot lead, then you can just kind of hunker down and just, play par golf and play defense and let them catch up to you.
But on the other side, if you're say like in second or third place and you're looking at the number of points you have right now and you're like, oh, I'm close to getting another course unlocked. Do I play it safe so I keep those points, or do I go nuts and then screw up a big shot, then get right out of the points? And then I got to play another tournament again, so I get enough points to get. And that's a real risk reward.
Yeah, and getting back to your tedious comment, I feel like it's a little bit of like that when you're trying to unlock the courses too. Like when you're doing a match play against an opponent and you get down to the final couple holes and choke and have to do it all over again, it can be frustrating. And the same thing, if you're playing a tournament and then you have a really bad 17th or 18th hole and choke it down the stretch, it can be really frustrating because like you just played for an hour and then you fuck it all up at the end. And that's another thing about this game is like when you're playing it on PS5, on PS Plus, it's different because you can save state anytime you want. But when you're playing this on the PS1, you only get to save at 9, like halfway through your round.
Yep.
And so like there is no, let's just say you're on hole 16 having a great round and then hole 17 goes horribly wrong. If you reload your save, you're going back to hole 10 again, which like I'm down with, but that could be infuriating as well. So
and then you screw up on that 9 again. You got to go back to 10 again and just I understand that's a skill issue, but at the same time, and the other thing is there's no real way to pause the game. Like The only way you get the positive is just let it sit while you're trying to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, like, and this doesn't just to Hot Shots Golf, this just applies to games in general. If it's online, which in the PS1 era it wasn't, but like if it's online, then I can live with less save scumming and stuff like that. But like if I buy a game, if I pay my money for a game and I want to save every hole or every shot, I want to cheese in any game. I want to save after every fight, after every battle, after every race, whatever the fuck. I don't know how much goes into game development. But like, just let me save. Like I paid for it. If I want to cheese, then let me fromage it up. You know, like minor complaint.
My belief is unless it's directly affecting the game whatsoever, like a Resident Evil or something, then no, don't have it there. But for most part, why not? It's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, just let me save. It's not hurting anybody, you know? And like I want to unlock the players. Let me do that. There is a mini golf mode in it too, but I actually forgot to fire it up to get ready for this.
It's basically it's basically just a mini golf course, literally.
Yeah,
it's a putt course. It's a lot of fun, and I got a quick 9 in on it, but like I said, it's nothing overly special. Other than just get out there and make some putts.
Yeah, I will say, like, I do think putting is the weakest part of the golf in this game. You know, like it's only 1-2, like you said, unless the green really slants, you don't really even have to adjust. It's pretty generous too on letting it feels like that hole isn't regulation, like the cup. It's pretty forgiving. I don't hate it, but I do find the putting to be the easiest part of this game and the weakest. Yeah. So, I think I'm good, man. I just like, I love that you can pause, you can go in and look at like your stats, your trophy room, your best scores, all that kind of stuff if you want. It's just I think by today's standards, if somebody was to come to me and be like, yo, I've never played a golf game before, should I start with Hot Shots Golf? I would probably say not. It's been golf in both arcade and simulation has been improved exponentially from this game. But I gotta say, man, it's been a long time since I rediscovered a game I loved on this show, like I did Hot Shots Golf. Like this took me back to being 15 years old, just obsessed with this stupid game. And my love of golf games, Mario Golf, indie games, the Tiger Woods, the PGA 2Ks, all of that blossomed from this fucking game. And what a trip down memory lane. We will do more Hot Shots Golf games in the future because this franchise, I can't speak past 3. I think I only played the Hot Shots Golf 3, but 2 and 3 just improved on everything this game did.
Well, they had 8 games on this or something to that effect. There's some huge
There's a
number
lot of them.
But yeah,
they were big. And then Tiger Woods kind of crushed him, I think.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about, what did you think of the music in this game?
You know what? Actually, I liked it. I liked the more triumphant on the menus, and then when you get into the actual game itself, and it was nice and chill. I liked it. I thought it didn't overstay its welcome, if that makes sense. I thought it was just nice and good.
Perfect for the atmosphere. That's exactly what you're saying here, and I agree with you. It's just the music here was just it didn't have a lot of music, but what it had in there, it had in the right spots and it had the right mood to each one. So when you get that start menu, you actually have hope that you can have a good round. And for the most part, during the round, it stayed up because you're losing all hope very slowly as you play a round of golf. And and there wasn't much audio from the players. And I know one of the comments that I've received in terms of a criticism of this game is the fact that there's not much of a variety of different feedback from the players when certain things happen. But then I remember this is a PlayStation 1 game, so you don't want to waste that. You want to use that on other assets that are going to be a lot better. So
100%. I'll be honest with you, dude. 2/3 of the time I spent playing this game for the episode, I was listening to YouTube or music, or I had a hockey game on my phone or whatever. And I like that. I'm I don't need to. It's golf. I know the sounds. I don't need to hear that much. So, yeah. I also liked how when you go to tee off, it wouldn't tell you how strong the wind was, but you could hit R2 and it would throw grass up in the air, and you could watch where the grass went as to feel it out. I know the wind didn't really matter, but I did like that. I thought that was a cool little touch.
Oh, I liked it for the fact that it doesn't. When you when you tee off first, when you have the honor, as it's called, you're supposed to be at the disadvantage where you don't know how your ball's going to react to the wind. So the second guy behind you is supposed to be able to see what your ball did and then get to react to that. It's supposed to be that ultimate catch-up thing. And I love how it worked out that way.
Yeah, me too. Nice little touch. All right, we're good. Are you good? I'm good. Good game. Great fucking game. I love this game.
One last thing I'll say is you were talking about this isn't the first you would look at. I have to say this is the second game you get into. Get into another game that's similar to this, then come into Hot Shots Golf, because some of these other games like Mario Golf, or even if you try doing the 3-click on like an EA or a PGA, will help you learn the mechanics of how this game works. And then the mechanics not being frustrating will allow you to enjoy this game that much more.
Because even the tutorial, like I went into the lessons in this game to like refresh myself, and it's so odd. You don't play them; you just watch them.
Well, the thing is,
I was like, that's so weird. Like,
if you let the game literally just sit and scroll through, like in other games, you would have like fake play. They actually do the tutorial on that screen right there. It's like your intro video.
Very odd. Okay, I promise everybody, like, I love this series. I forgot how much I love this series. There's a new Everybody Golf's coming out soon, or Everybody's Golf, which I can't fucking wait for. I promise Hot Shots Golf's going to get more love on Remember the Game moving forward. You can hold me to that. I assure you.
It better.
We got to, oh buddy, fuck, I love these games. We got to score this. Let's go out of 18. That's a classic score for golf. Let's go out of 18 holes. Mike, you have the honors.
Mark, potato,
Mike, Steve, whatever the fuck your name is.
There's many words I've been called to being a referee. You can just imagine where you go with those. I'm gonna give it a solid 14.
14?
14 out of 18. I'm gonna leave it a little bit down because of some of the interactive menus, like trying to check out your shot and whatnot, using the angle and the circle buttons, and when you hit the start button to check out your map, you have to hit up and down on your D-pad to flip the map around, and you accidentally hit left and right and it changes your shot direction. And I do have to say the oversensitivity of the buttons on the bumpers as you're trying to select your club can get a little bit frustrating if you don't have the patience to go back and make sure that you're getting the right club, because it'll automatically skip 3 or 4 right away.
Yes.
It's almost like got stuck on a turbo. Yeah. All in all, it is a great game. And once again, I will sum it up as everybody's second game they should check out if they're going to go into a golf series.
Agreed. Yeah. I know it makes for bad radio, but I'm going to give it the same score because I feel like 13 isn't good enough. It's too fun a game. Like, sure, if you compare it to modern golf games, it's pretty rough, but I'm not doing that. I played it in 97. I'm going back to 97. So I'm not comparing it to anything. I don't think it's good enough to get into that 15 or 16 out of 18 because it's got some holes in it, no pun intended. But 13 seems too weak. So I think 14 out of 18 as well. It'd be like a solid 8 out of 10. I had a great time with it. The only reason I don't see myself playing it more moving forward is because I need to move on to other games like Hot Shots Golf 2. But I'm slowly collecting old physical games that I like for old systems. And after playing this on PS Plus, I'm like, I have to have a copy of Hot Shots Golf in my collection now. Like, I have to, because it's just such an old staple. It felt like revisiting an old friend. Like, just there's so few games that just grab me by the nostalgia bone like this game did on this show these days, because we've done 330 some of these. Great pick by everybody. Great job. Great fucking game. Mike, good job. What are you doing when you're not trying to hit perfect power shots?
Well, I'm usually going to find golf balls in bushes while everybody else is playing through me. But besides that, I'm usually over on twitch.tv/MikeTheRef. Our big shows are after AEW. We cover AEW All Elite Wrestling. Usually Wednesdays and Saturdays. We have a sidecast and we play a little WWE 2K25, which might feature a few other people that are on this podcast right now, but I digress. In terms of characters on the screen,
jobber.
Don't get to it.
What a jobber.
Yeah, well, Anyway, we also do sports games on the channel too. Like currently going through MLB The Show 25. We're doing a little PGA. lot of stuff coming down the pipe. Twitch.tv/Mike the Ref, and also Backbreaker_gaming on YouTube is we have daily gaming content on there, including Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and a little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything else all over the place here. So everything will be in the description for weeks. But more importantly than anything else, thank you, Adam, once again for having me on. I know that I'm always gushing over you, but God, the amount of people that have literally told me that you are the reason that they have met me is because of how much they enjoy us being on the show and how much they enjoy listening to you talk about video games and the way that you do it. It's amazing. And just on behalf of all the hot dogs, even this fat Frank as I'm going to be here, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Thank you for doing this as always. It's great talking to you. Check out Mike's stuff. I'll put links in the description of this episode. Mike, thank you for doing this. And to all of you out there, if the audio is off this week, blame me and just be grateful that this episode even fucking happened. Because I'm telling you, you guys have no idea what a fucking yakety sack shit show clusterfuck my scheduling has been over the last 7 days that we managed. And we even recorded, buddy, it's Monday night at 5:30. We recorded this over 48 hours before it goes live. And it's been weeks since I banged out a Remember the Game 48 hours early. Fucking unreal. Holy shit.
For the record, it will be my fault because I told everything sounded okay. So feel free to throw it my way.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. That is going to do it for this week's episode. Mike, thank you so much for giving me a shout and talking hot shots golf. And to every single one of you nerds listening, whether this was your first Remember the Game, your 332nd, your 169th, whatever the fuck it was, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I know there's a lot of retro gaming shows out there, and that you picked ours, well, that melts my butter. Thank you so much, everybody. Check out Mike's stuff. He's always busy with the streaming and the YouTube and the et ceteras. You can find all the links to that in the description of this episode. You can also find links to my social media. Toss me a follow on the Twitter or the Instagram. We have a Facebook that I'm on sometimes. We have a Reddit that's over 1,000 members now. Fucking sick. I do have a TikTok, but it sucks. I never fucking use it. I don't stream a lot anymore, but I might start again in the summer. We'll see how it goes. I've been staying busy. And of course, I would ask you to consider our Patreon. If you've got $3 a month just burning a hole in your pocket, why not throw it at me? I'll take your change, and in exchange, I will give you hundreds and hundreds of podcasts, including Remember the Game ad-free every single week. If you are a Patreon, come back tomorrow for Expansion Pass 254, where I'll be reviewing the Minecraft movie that I'm going to be seeing momentarily. Looking forward to seeing what it's all about. Friday will be the Rambling Idiot, where I'll talk about the Calgary Expo and the NHL playoffs and my trip back into hockey that I'm playing again now and how that's going and whatever else is on my mind. And then have a good weekend, and we'll be back next week with a whole another juicy slab of podcasts, including Remember the Game 333. I have had an episode in my back pocket for months, and it's kind of my in case of emergency break glass episode because I'm going to do it alone. I know it's going to have a niche audience, but it is something I am passionate as fuck about. And I'm going away on holidays for 2 weeks at the beginning of June. So this month we're trying to bang out an extra 2 weeks worth of podcasts to have them all pre-recorded and ready to go live while I'm gone. So I kind of needed a quickie. Next week, and if you roll your eyes, that's fine. I know some of you are excited about this. I will be reviewing the World Series of Poker video games. I love poker almost as much as I love video games. I can't wait to talk about them. I have spent countless hours yelling at how rigged those fucking games are, and that's what I'm going to be getting into next week. But that's then. This was now. I'm going to thank some patrons and then go see the Minecraft movie. Thank you all so much for listening, your beauties. Leave us a good review, please, somewhere. I'm supposed to ask for those, and I'll talk to you all on the next one. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I turn out every week without all of your support. The following people are the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, they get 2 desserts with their lunch, and they get a shout out and get to hear me say their names as quickly as possible. That's mispronounce their names at the beginning, say it as quickly as possible as the end. Come on, Adam. Fucking hang on. Let me drink some coffee here. Eases the pain. So anyway, these are our senior executive vice presidents or higher Patreons. Appreciate all of you. This is in alphabetical order based on your email addresses. So, and I consider doing the shoutouts with your email addresses, but I don't want to get in trouble. So, a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick motherfucking Rick, Tyler, Doogie Bowser MD, AB Killin, Just a Fish, Adam Martinet, a dude named Adam, Akiris Network, A-Town, Infinity Rage, Alex R, Itchy Nutsuru, Andy Hudson, Dave Thompson, Toby OP, Dude Where's My Game, Pee-wee Squitters, Andrew Wright, Benjamin Atkins, Zamatos, Brandon DeZeba, GoBots Are Sexier Than Transformers, Legendberry, Hago Waffle, Dan of Dissect That Film, Nerdy Hybrid, Nordak, Blobby Rogers, B Money, Matt Babineau, General Fury, Elijah Burns, Roger Stawbox Pool Cleaner, Bula, Matt Cody Thompson, Munkal, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Angles Claw, that's so good, Chris Flurry, Exotic Chaotic, Chaz Hammond, Chris Hill is scared, that could be anyone's ass, The Grim Patron, 333, Makeshift Mallow Magic Money, Christian Gabriel, Wreck-It Ralphie, Christopher Britt, Drugs Are Bad, okay, Spider Cat, Cody Richardson, Juris Dr. Mario, Robbie Air, Cesar, Fallen Snow Kiku, Archangel Otaku, Daniel, Darbles, Thunderleaps, Decoy Man, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, Devin Collins, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Doug Dorn, David Schroeder, Scotty McGee, Joe the Sandman, MacGyver 88, Super Jess, Ida Yellow, Eric Hopewell, Flater Flav, please refrain from tasting the knob, E-Man Trucker, Big the Cat, Leroy Jenkins, Growly Wog, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, VOS Rager, Generic Name 238, Graham Kennedy, G9 PSX, Fancy Starbot Dirt, Maverick Marty, Diablo Spartan, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. Faded Sufferance, Holmes, Trooper Galactus, Liquor Like Luigi, Phil Lencher, Isaias, James Juan Francesco, It's That Nerd James, Sharonic, Max Lagroom, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Can't Destroy Her, Jake Carter, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Jay Nasty 15, The Big Deal, Jay Callahan, Beaver Boy, Laces Out Dan, Johnny from Virginia, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Chugger 22, Jordan, Jeff Bergeron, Stud Still Smash, Rated Excellent, No One Cares, Too Much Karma, Justin Blair, Justin Tate, Fill Up My Mouth With Farts, Jort King Keegs, Kevin Kellums, My Left Nut, Kevin Monroe, Marcus Mendoza, Ryan Kinchin, Postman, Game Boy Gannon, Aaron Lawson, Gabe, I never say your last name. You know what? Gabriel DeAndrea. I think I just always have called you Gabe. Mark Sneed, Lucas Shaman, Leroy Westrich, Mikey Hag, Angry Ticks, Alex McIntyre, Put It in AH, Savage Boosh, Lord Salazar, Just Car Pranks, Beef Dingleberry, McCracken, Standard Ass Brian, Morgan, Mr. Arkansas, JSK Fusick, Adam Needs to Play Bowser's Fury, Nick Creature, Musty Beetle, Just James, Donnie the Dude Walter, Wilco, Frosty Bear, Lord Palmerston, Ryan Perry, Wimp of Stupid Stooges, TTRPG, Profound, Daddy Secret Little Chubby, Hits Meals, Plow King, Alex Ramos, Randy Barrage, Horstalgia, a podcast, S, Big Daddy Randall, Titan 420, Brian Richmond, Monstrous D Boner, Wyatt the Surgeon Who's Not a Surgeon Row, Madam Nutsitch, Desiree, Ryan Donahue, Squeaknut, Sabin, Mercury 869, Max Sandin, Sam Carpenter, Storm Beagle, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scott Brooks, Captain Asbury Juice, Steve Dulk, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Super Science, Ferrioth, The Shane's World, DBXJ, Shoeboxers, Captain Steve N, Jimothy, Scotty J, Sour Goat Face, Squints, Ryan Stemmerding, Girthworm Jim, Spooky Dookie, Ted Explosion, Spooky Dookie. Fucking, we had Pizza Hut the other night. Talking Spooky Dookie, fuck me. Ted Explosion, Captain Black Silver, Scary Terry, T-Bear 87, Mike Maloney, Tadpole, Thomas Smith, Bot Fucker, Timothy Sabrinsky, Doogie, Beers of War, Fuzzy 99, Quiet Place Queen, Travis Sanders, Mr. Jabroni, Comebread. I use small words to help Adam say it more good. Appreciate it. Because 19, Penguin Milk, Wolf Magic 21, Lord Longrod, Vaught Huge Dom II, Ryan Whitcomb, John Woodruff, Rush's Dog Walker, works for me, Dean Doney and Wolfgang Darren, Earl, Darth Skywalter, Kia Pup, Mizuru, Zane Donovan, Zach Shepard, and Matt Zeus. That was a fucking good batch of shout-outs. Holy cow. Holy cow. I don't feel like leaving. I have nothing else to say. So it's 10:53 a.m. on Tuesday, May 6th here in Edmonton right now. And in 37 minutes, I'm going to go live on Patreon to do the recording stream for The Rambling Idiot for this Friday. And then as soon as that's done, it'll probably be a little after 1 p.m. Edmonton time. Then I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to go and see the Minecraft movie. And then when I get home, it'll be like Minecraft movie's at 2, so I'll probably be home around 4, and then I'm going to edit this so that you're all listening to it. And that'll be done by 5:30, and then I got to leave for a ball. I'm playing ball hockey 3 nights in a row this week. So I'm going to fucking play ball hockey. I'm playing goalie. I'm subbing for a team tonight. So I'm a little nervous because I'm not very good. And when you play for a new team, they expect you to be good. And then when you're not, they're like, fuck, this guy sucks. But that's going to be good. And then when I get home from that, I'll probably shower and go to sleep. So, all right. I got nothing else, guys. I guess I ought to go. All right. Take it easy. Thanks, everybody. Bye.